Girl Shay, and we're back with Shay's Relationship Files. How's everyone doing this morning? Hope everyone morning starting off okay, and I hope everyone's staying safe out there. And good afternoon to some if you're in a different Pacific or a different country. And today we're talking about what does true love mean to you? What is your definition of true love? And I have this article here that I took some points from. And then I'm going to also share what ones I appreciate that I consider as true love. Now, the meaning of love is undoubtedly a pleasing emotion in all forms. And it brings an aura of beauty around women, at the same time a sense of courage and confidence in men. And true love is not only about how your body feels or how you view someone in a relationship. It's about how that person also makes you feel. So for me, there are a few things that I feel that's considered when it's true love. For one, you have confidence in your relationship. You know that even though y'all sometimes may have ups and downs, you know that you guys love each other unconditionally, and that no matter what hardships may come, you're going to work through it and you're going to continue to do your best to make things better. And it is a difference because you can sometimes mistake true love for infatuation, which we'll talk about that in another video of what's the difference between the two. Because there's definitely a big difference. Also, the second sign of true love is you see each other in the future. So when you are in love, you can see, you automatically include that person in any plans you have, whether now or future plans. It's always us. And that's something I learned, and as for being married too, you always, when you talk about things, you always want to say us, not just me. Because if you just say me all the time and just talk about just you as the individual, it offends the other person because it makes it seem like they're not included within your life plans. So that's definitely something you want to try to keep consistent, is making sure you say us, not just me all the time. And also another sign a man is truly in love, or vice versa, he gives more than he takes from you. Because as I mentioned in a prior video, marriage is 50-50, so it's supposed to be half and half. But when a person does so much for you and don't ask for hardly nothing back in return but the simplest things, that definitely shows that that person really truly loves you, because they're not looking to gain anything from you. And that's a big importance for me as well, because a lot of people can take advantage of you, even a person you're in a relationship with. So when you find a person that's actually not looking out just for their own interests but your interests first, that's definitely a positive sign of a person, and it's a positive sign of true love. And also another characteristic that I personally take too is honesty, being able to share everything with your spouse. There's nothing that's off limits, and I think I talked about this also in a prior video, that whether how bad or good something is, you should be able to talk to your spouse. Because if you can't be honest with them, how can your relationship continue to grow and progress and be stronger foundation if you don't open up to each other? And also, sacrifice is also important. when it comes to true love, because when you are willing to put your own feelings aside for that other person, that's again, like I said, another example of showing their interest instead of just yours all the time. And that shows them that love you and care you have for them, that even if you don't enjoy basketball, for example, or if you don't enjoy watching a symphony or an orchestra, but you go because your spouse enjoys it, that's considered a sacrifice. And you're making that sacrifice because you do love that person. And also, I've come to find too that being supportive of your mate, regardless of what they're trying to do in life, is also a good way to show true love towards them, because even if you may think like, oh, that's a crazy idea, the fact that you're there for them, unless it's something, of course, that can put them in harm's way, then of course you would talk about that. But if it's something for positive encouragement, it's always good to encourage that if they're working on trying to be better, because that's what we all are doing, is trying to work on being better people each day. And when you show your love towards that person, it feels natural and not forced. Everything you say and the feelings you have towards each other, it doesn't feel like, oh, I gotta think about how I feel. It just comes natural to you because you really love that person. And another number one thing for me as well is keeping promises. Now, I do understand that things happen. We live in this life where unforeseen circumstances do happen. But I always teach my daughter that keeping your word is the most important thing. If your word is not honest, then how can you expect somebody to trust you with anything else? So if you make a promise, you want to keep that promise. Don't beat around the bush. Whatever promise you made, do your best to fulfill that promise to the best of your ability. And that also continues to build trust in the relationship. And also, sometimes it's not going to always be sunshine and rainbows. Also, you have to accept that sometimes you're going to have disappointments in your marriage. There's going to be ups and downs, as I mentioned earlier. But you have to be willing to weigh the good with the bad. And if it's mostly good, you have to focus on the positive qualities of that person. And also having respect for your significant other, because I've seen so many times, even in these reality shows, where so many women and men have been disrespectful to their spouse in some way or form, whether physically, verbally, and it's been like on 10 times 100. And no matter how much they glorify that in the world today, that's not a way you treat your husband or spouse. Now, again, we are imperfect, and we all sometimes have our moments where we may say something we shouldn't. And that's also a part of having self control and kind of needing to know when to walk away and take some time and calm down. Because my mom always taught me, once you say something to someone, you can't take it back. And words stab you just as bad as somebody physically putting their hands on you. So you should do the best you can to be careful with what you say to your spouse and try your best not to hurt them. And also, another sign of true love is that you can be yourself around them, which is kind of what I talked about in the other one, where it just becomes natural for you when it comes to your spouse. You don't have to fake or feel uncomfortable around them because you truly love them and you just want what's best for them. And yeah. And also, I was just looking at this article here to see what other topics, but it kind of went over a couple of them. The last one that I wanted to bring out on this article was about money's not an issue. So I've been seeing like for months and months when like I scroll through Instagram or whatever, I would see a lot of these women. I don't know if a man put this list out too, but where they would say, "Oh, I'm not going to accept you taking me here. You can't take me to a McDonald's. You got to take me to an expensive restaurant or whatever the case may be." And I'm like, not to judge anyone because that's just their own personal choice. They want to be like that. But me personally, it shouldn't have to be set the tone on the most expensive to show how much somebody care. You get how somebody care about you with the effort that's made. And it's not about the dollar of how much that cost. It's about the genuineness that it came from. Because just because a person takes you to the most expensive restaurant all the time, they could care less about you just because they shining you with the newest and improved and all that. That doesn't matter because material things can be gone the next day in a second. So what do you hold on to? The material things, or you hold on to what the memories you have in your mind and heart, the things that no one can take from you that you remember, the special moments and times you share. And I know for me personally, I I'm not picky with my husband when it comes to where we eat. Long as it's somewhere that's not dirty, it's not super expensive because nowadays things are up the roof and I'm spending time with him and our daughter, that's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me. I don't care about going to the most expensive. Any time spent with my family is good to me. Even if it's at a free park or a free event, it doesn't matter. It's about the quality, not the quantity. And many people really need to start seeing that. That it's not about how much someone spends on you to prove that. And it's just sad that there's some people out here that depict their relationship off of the money. Even though, like I said in another video, it's understandable that we need money to live, but you don't want to make that be so stuck on that to the point where you're going overboard with it. Everything is in moderation. So, those are my thoughts today on true love and how you know it's true love and what are some characteristics I felt was important to me as far as true love. And again, you guys stay safe out there. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next live. Have a great day. Peace.